wherever you are. Welcome to Splash Rendezvous for today. And on Splash Rendezvous, what we want to talk about every time is solutions to our problems. For our program today, we want to take a critical look at the new NBC codes, the amendment that is being proposed to these codes, and also the Press Council Act. We're putting this together and speaking truth to ourselves. Again, we'll look at FG and Twitter. They're planned to meet for a talk. What should we expect from this dialogue? And also some sundry issues about our country, Nigeria. Once again, welcome to the program, Splash Rendezvous, here on your frequency of choice, Splash 105.5 FM, here in Felele, Ibadan. My name is Oluwaseun. I'm Akinola. Michael Olatunbosun is here. Michael, good evening.
Good evening to you. Good evening to Tunde and all the other people here and those who are outside there listening to us. It's time, always a good pleasure to talk about things that affect us as a people.
And Tunde Olawuwo is also here. Hello, Tunde.
Hello, Shem. Good evening. Good evening to Michael. Good evening to everybody. My pleasure to be here this evening.
I'm happy to be here as well. So we hope that Tunde Onokoya will join us in the course of the program as we move on. So let's get on the issue. The NBC was established as a decree and bears sharp similarities with the proposed amendment of the Nigerian Press Council Act. In its current form, the NBC wields huge influence on the media space and is in charge of the regulation of this media space. Some will argue that as a regulator, they are in favor of the government than the practitioners. Some will say that they are simply there as neutral power to regulate the activities there. The first thing that the amended bill seeks to do is to create a new section that will accommodate the establishment of a board for the council. The council will be charged with regulating media houses by ensuring truthful, genuine, and quality services. Michael, what does this mean by truthful, genuine, and quality service? Who determines the truth?
Okay, so the bill, or if you like the code, or if you like the act itself, I've reflected, putting the three together now, I've reflected indeed the, very fundamental principles that should, guide and regulate the broadcast sector. But, you have new realities. So you have truth and you have post-truth. So the realities.
Where are you going?
So you have truth, you have post-truth, you have news, you have fake news, you have in fact you have what you now call information disorder.
So there's disinformation.
So you have misinformation, you have malinformation,
and then you have disinformation.
So all these things dictate the reality of the fact that the laws that regulate the sector have to be amended. So the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, essentially those who are in the National Assembly, are just dancing to the rhythm of the time.
All right, I'm coming to today. In this issue, there is the council will be established. And this council, they come on board. According to the bill, the chairman of the council shall be appointed by the president on the recommendation of the Minister of Information and should have at least 15 years cognate experience in journalism. If Buhari then decide to repeat the scenario of nominating someone that is not trustworthy, what happens when you give the president that kind of power? Let me join it with the fact that there's controversy about the choice of Mr. President as one of the members of the INEC board, INEC commissioner rather.
Yeah, INEC commissioner.
Loretta Onoche. And the controversy is still raging. So when you give the president such a power, and media is there to be a watchdog, is there not inconsistency or a conflict of interest wouldn't come from there?
I think the last 6 years have been extremely tough for the media generally, especially the electronic media, because it has come under consistent attack, from the government. And by the government, I'm referring to the federal government, under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari. But of course, the poster boy of such moves has been, the Honorable Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed. Don't forget that the controversies around the Sixth Amendment to the NBC Code, is still on with, very stiff penalties, for, stiff punishment, added to it. Some have argued that they were unilaterally, added without carrying along all other stakeholders. Now we're discussing a bill which is going to give more powers, essentially, to the National Broadcasting Commission. Well, this, for me, is not really about the NBC. I am sure if you ask, of course, they may not be able to come out to say it, but if you ask a lot of people who work in the NBC, they are probably not happy about it. It is really about a government that seeks to gain more and more control of the space, and then stifle all other stakeholders, especially the media practitioners, the opportunity to freely express themselves. Well, to address what you said about specifically about the president, being a member of the board, and of course having the powers to appoint. I would say, honestly, I do not understand what more powers they're looking for, because right now you have all the powers. The president appoints the information minister. The president appoints the DG of NBC. So there is no confusion as to who controls the NBC. What we are seeing here is an attempt to make NBC have more control over areas where hitherto they didn't have control, such as the online space. You remember Alhaji Lai Mohammed, when he was, during the public hearing before the House of Representatives, he asked that the powers of the NBC should be extended to such an extent whereby the NBC will have to grant a license for those who are interested in running online platforms. So the podcast you have, the small, whatever it is,
maybe a YouTube channel,
everything will be licensed.
It will be first registered.
Yes,
it will register. It will be licensed, and then it will be under the regulation of the NBC.
This, to start with, this is not an executive bill. It is a
bill by a member.
Yes, and it's a member that is well known to everybody, because actually from Oyo State. Honorable Segun Odebon, they call him Bonvic. He's a 3-term member of the House. And interestingly, this is somebody who does not have any prior, experience
in the media,
whether it's print or electronic. He has found himself in the House of Representatives, and now is playing out a script that is going to have a long-term ramification for the industry, long after when he probably would have been forgotten that he ever occupied any public office before. I'm happy that a lot of stakeholders are standing and speaking up against it. Chief among them is the Institute of Media and Society, Chief Akinola, the Executive Director. I align myself completely
with his views. Because the NBC, as we have it right now, how independent is it as a regulator? It still operates essentially as an extension to the office of the Minister for Information.
It's a parastatal.
Yes. So what we are seeing, I think, is important for people to get this clear. It is not about the NBC. It's about the federal government seeking to have absolute control over what is discussed at whatever level.
What we say
at whatever level.
Discuss.
And that is dangerous in a democracy.
Okay. The Nigerian Guild of Editors has said the media industry is not a political opponent or enemy of the federal government. That the two bills to amend the Nigeria Press Council (NPC) Act and the National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) Act, currently before the National Assembly, are meant to criminalize journalism practice in the country. Michael, do you agree?
Yes, I totally agree because you see in this sphere we are referred to as the fourth estate of the realm, and it will shock a lot of people. You see, essentially, it's because we don't study in this part of the world. If you look at the Constitution, and it's replicated all over the world, the only profession that is mentioned in the Constitution, I know about 6 or 7 or 8 African countries, the media is there. You see, Section 22 is what these people who are trying to amend this law are trying to neutralize. Section 22 mentions the press, radio, and all the other agencies as being responsible to a particular function, which is to call to account on behalf of the people, those who are in government. Just like Tunde said, the current federal government especially has been very, very, how do I put it now? They have been very unreceptive of dissenting voices
and criticisms.
And you see, the media space is so powerful that when anybody has a grudge against society or grudge in favor of society, they usually bring it to this media. So what they're trying to do is to stop people from talking. Just like Tunde said, the problem is not even the NBC. If you look at the NBC code itself, there's so much of regulatory provisions there to decide, to help us to make sense of society and how to move society forward and how to do this job, maintaining the ethos of truth in journalism and in broadcast space essentially. So when you have a bill, just like Tunde said, someone who doesn't have experience in the media, he doesn't know the anything concerning the media. So you will be shocked that there are people like Smart Adeyemi who had been president of the NUJ. There are so many people who are retired journalists who are in the National Assembly. They are not even the ones coming forward with this bill. People who have an understanding of how the media works, and even if they are going to change the law or amend the law, these are the people who know the gaps.
But Tunde made a statement that there's a playing of script here.
Yeah, just that's what I told you. It's very clear to neutralize Section 22 of the 1999 of Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. I will be so shocked that, or I am still very shocked that a lot of people don't even know that we are specifically mentioned in the Constitution. So when you are inviting the governor or the commissioner or a member of the House of Representatives or a senator to come to this studio or to media to answer to questions, they think that they are doing us a favor by appearing. You are not. You are doing yourself a favor by coming to give account to the people who voted for you.
The sponsor of this bill had his OND in Secretariat Studies from the Federal Polytechnic Ede. Then he went on to UNAD to study business education. Afterwards, he ventured into agric and, of course, marketing of petroleum products. He was a 3-time chairman in the local government in Oyo State, Surulere, and then 2011 was voted, 2015 and 2019. So that, I mean, clearly he has never ever, when I say he has zero experience in media or journalism. So I don't know, of all the problems that we have in Nigeria today, you know, why it is so important to muzzle the media. I really don't understand if he's not acting out the script.
Okay, we will take a break. I had enough from that one. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll look at the council itself and the power of the minister, the power that this particular act, this amendment is giving the minister, and why. Stay with us, don't go away.
One passenger. Big auntie, come enter this bus.
Oga conductor, this kind cough na serious matter. You suppose go hospital.
Hospital care. If I carry this kind cough enter hospital now, those people go talk say now COVID-19 and they worry me.
Haba, doctors don't talk and say different types of cough dey. Some na dry cough, but this your own. Now wet cough e be.
Big aunty, now God go bless you. I don't tire for this my conductor and in cough when no gree go. If it even be tuberculosis.
Conductor, go check am o. Make you dey sure because who no go? No go no.
Check that cough for tuberculosis.
Check am o, make you dey sure.
If cough don't worry you pass 2 weeks, if it be tuberculosis, TB test and treatment now free. Just call the National TB Hotline for 3340 to get better information of where you fit do the test. This message now from the Federal Ministry of Health with support from American people them.
Big protein breakfast, àṣírí ibẹ̀ nìyẹn. Bí ìyá mi máa ṣe ń jí láfẹ̀mọ́jú, wọ́n á ṣe oúnjẹ fún wa kí wọ́n tó sáré lọ sí ibi iṣẹ́. Lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbà, bàbá wa máa ń ṣiṣẹ́ dalẹ́. Wọ́n sì tún jí lówùúrọ̀ láti gbé mi lọ sí ilé ẹ̀kọ́. Kò wá sí bó ṣe lè di gádígádí tó. Kì í rí wọn láti máa bá mi ṣeré. Ìdí rèé tí wọn kì í kúrò nílé láì jẹ big protein breakfast.
Bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọjọ́ rẹ pẹ̀lú oúnjẹ òwúrọ̀ tó kún fún big protein. Amárata kébé.
Pig, rich for your pig.
Ṣolówó nínú àkáǹtì rẹ̀, ṣó fẹ́ gba díẹ̀ nínú rẹ̀. Ṣàlọ́ṣe cardless withdrawal. Ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn Momo agent. Ọ̀dà àǹtí káàdì rẹ̀ dà. Mo ti gbàgbé rẹ̀ sílé. Gbowó rẹ̀ láì ní káàdì lọ́wọ́. Ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn Momo agent. Ìgbàkúgbà tó bá nílò owó. Ṣùgbọ́n káàdì rẹ̀ ò sí nítòsí. Ṣáàtì ṣe cardless withdrawal. Ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn Momo agent. Momo agent yóò. Ṣáàtì ṣe cardless withdrawal o. Ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn Momo agents.
Ní báyìí, o lè gbowó lọ́wọ́ èyíkéyìí aṣojú Momo tó súnmọ́ jùlọ. Kódà tí káàdì gbowó ò bá sí lọ́wọ́ ẹ, ṣáà ti tẹ *223# láti wá Momo agent tó súnmọ́ jùlọ.
Momo agent kò léwu, ó yá gan, kò sì ní wàhálà.
It's game night at the Bensons and everyone's having fun. Then, this.
Hey, son, what's the matter? You too? No way.
Don't let coughs and the common cold ruin your fun time. Tuxil range of uniquely formulated day and night syrups provides effective relief from cough and cold. Product may cause drowsiness. Tuxil, the job gets done when the cough is gone. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor.
Looking beautiful, day and night with one click. AI selfie with the pictures on flick. Full high definition with a large screen. Infinix, no time. Top speed with a Helio G95. Super speed where they make you satisfied. Walk and play, everything is okay. Infinix, no 10 over 10. Hey yo, this is the real deal. Infinix, no 10. Hey yo, this is the real deal. Infinix, no 10, beauty meets strength.
Enjoy super-fast processor with the new Infinix Note 10 with Helio G95 speed, especially for better gaming experience. And a 6.95-inch FHD screen for wider viewing pleasures. Infinix Note 10 meets beauty with strength.
Our oil sachet, 79 only 79. I said our oil sachet now, 79 only 79. I'm gonna get cooking oil now, 79 for a healthy family. 79 I'm gonna get cooking oil now, 79 our oil sachet now, 79
Power oil for a healthy family.
I pay my bills easily, I'm running things like a boss. Collect a loan with no collateral. Vault is the answer. Vault is the way. Vault is the answer. From Polaris Bank.
Download Vault by Polaris Bank. That's VULTE. Visit the Google Play Store or Apple Store now. Vault is available to Polaris and non-Polaris Bank customers. Vault by Polaris Bank.
If you want confidence and a baffle, Premier Kulo. It keeps you fresh and it's Premier Kulo. You go shine for body and you go fresh. If
If you want confidence and a face.
Stay chilled with Premier Cool Toilet Soap. Removes 99.9% of germs and contains real menthol extracts for that icy cool feel.
You get money for account. You want take small thing inside. Just do cardless withdrawal with any Momo agent. Oga, madam, where is your card? I don't forget them for house. If you do cardless withdrawal with any Momo agent. Anytime you need the money, but your card is there for yonder. Just go do cardless withdrawal with any Momo agent. Cardless withdrawal with Momo agent. With Momo agent, card withdraw with Momo agent. With any Momo agent.
Now you fit withdraw money even if you not hold your card for any Momo agents where they near you. Just dial *223# to take touchlight the Momo agent where they near your domot. Momo agent, safe, fast, no wahala.
Hey, Michael, how's life? Life is great, Frankie, but it's really hectic, man. Right from when I leave for office in the morning to the long hours I spend at work and then the traffic snails while coming back home leaves me feeling tired and stressed all the time.
Guy, I can totally relate to that. I've found a solution. Revital. Revital combines the power of Panax ginseng, 11 vitamins and 9 minerals, and is clinically proven to fight tiredness and stress. Revital, physically active, mentally alert. A quality product from Rambaxi, a Sun Pharma company.
Hip hip hooray! It's the 14th Splash 105.5 FM anniversary public lecture and the 82nd birthday of the founding chairman. Splash 105.5 FM, the integrity station, Chief Adebayo Akonde, MFR, the Abese Olubadan of Ibadan land. Holding on the 7th of July 2021 at the Trenchard Hall, University of Ibadan. Time 11 a.m. prompt. Guest lecturer is Professor Olutayo C. Adeshino, FNAL, Head Department of History, University of Ibadan. Lecture topic: In Search of a Nigerian Dream. Chairman of the occasion, Chief Kola Karim Agbaoye of Ibadan land. Let's celebrate 14 years of excellence. Splash FM, your integrity station.
If you want confidence and a baffle, Premier Cool. It keeps you fresh and honest. Premier Cool. You go shine for body and you go fresh. If you want confidence and a baffle.
Stay chilled with Premier Cool Toilet Soap. Removes 99.9% of germs and contains real menthol extracts for that icy cool feel.
This is not a hotspot. It's not a thoughtless, trash-talking, savage streets. No. This is a zone for those with the true Naija spirit, who refuse to be confined by archaic laws, those who are not accustomed to the norm, who believe there's always a better way to do things. A hub for those who stand behind what they believe in, who make the most of the present to create the future they desire. This is Tribe Naija, for those who see it different and want to do it different.
To join the conversation, download the Tribe Naija app today.
Splash FM 105.5.
Thank you for being there with us on Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station. And this is Splash Rendezvous. We are on live on Facebook. I would like you to join us on Facebook to be part of this discussion this evening. We will also be opening the lines and we engage you on the matter. But Michael, let me come to you. Like I said, as I said earlier on, the power that is being given to the Minister for Information. And I don't want us to look at Lai Mohammed as an individual,
of course,
or that office
in perpetuity.
Yes, because say after 2 years they will be out of that seat. Someone else will come there
as Minister of Information,
Culture, and the media will still be here. So this power, should the government be involved in the board of, the editorial board of any establishment that is regulating the media in any nation?
So
the Press Council, for instance.
The Press Council is supposed to be an independent body of professionals who see to, the formulation of policy and, legal framework for running of media space in any country, and particularly in Nigeria. The board or the council should consist of people who know the job, not politicians or appointees of politicians. Because basically, just like Tunde was saying earlier, appointees of politicians don't have the requisite qualification to understand the workings of the media. So what they will basically be doing is they will be appointing people who pander to their own ideals of how the media should run. And you see, you cannot know how media should run if you're outside.
If you're not a practitioner.
If you're not a practitioner, you cannot know. Even those who practice in the industry every day. So how much less, or how much more, or how much less, choose whichever one applies. Someone who doesn't even have
any idea whatsoever.
So come back to your question of the government appointing those who should constitute. I thought that those who should constitute this should be people appointed by the people themselves, rather than the people appointed.
Press Council itself.
Yeah, rather than the people appointed by the government. The specific reason is, so if you are sending memo to all media houses that you want to constitute a press council, we should send reps. I think it would be good for us to send Tunde Olawuwo to go and represent us, rather than for the president to appoint somebody whom the Minister of Information recommends. The Minister of Information, how wide is his own horizon in terms of what is going on in the industry? So I think that just like many African countries and many countries that are dictatorial, many countries that are trying to stop, popular voices and dissenting voices, that's what they do. Don't forget that this exactly is the step that the government had taken that stalled the PIB for so long. That's the most traveled and the most experienced bill that we've had in the history of this Fourth Republic in Nigeria. Since 1999, we've been having the Petroleum Industry Bill.
Because there's 10 member of the National Assembly.
Yeah, so much power has been vested in the Minister of Petroleum Resources, just like you have now in this one, the NPC Act, which has the finger of the minister on every page of it. So it basically speaks to the agenda that the government has to say, we cannot listen to these people, particularly young people, speaking and criticizing us. Let's stop them from talking. And you see, if you look at the bill itself, I'm looking at the amendment, the proposal here, sponsored by Honorable Segun Odebunmi once again. And you see that regulate and also assign punishment. So if media houses, if you consider the fact that you want to assign punishment, who defines what the offense is?
Okay, now, Michael, let me hold your thought there. That's where I'm going. Lanre Gundade represented the IPC there at the public hearing. He made a statement that I want us to look at. He said the right activists maintained that there was no way the MPC would be allowed to remain the accuser, the prosecutor, and the judge in its own case.
Any wolf I go know I well. MTN Pulse don't come ring my bell. What's this I hear of data just for the night? You see, I'm a very, very big guy, but I don't joke with my giggy bites. So MTN get the free deep guy with this data plan for the midnight. 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. 2 gig, oh boy, I can live the life. IG, TikTok is ready to go, oh boy, I'm feeling fine. Because 11 to 6 in the morning, IG, TikTok, body, 2 gig, there for me. MTN Pulse, yes, of course, MTN Pulse.
MTN Pulse. Do you? Dial *406# to join. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Oh, lunch. Guys, I'm going for lunch. Please, put more stew. Nice meal. My chest.
Suffering from heartburn and indigestion? Try Just Eat. My recommendation for the past 26 years. Just Eat is a brand of aluminium and magnesium hydroxide and simethicone. Just Eat is available in suspension and tablets. Remedy for heartburn, indigestion, flatulence, and acidity.
Just Eat, now available in new packs. If symptoms persist after 3 days, please see your doctor. Read the leaflet inside.
It's a brand new day and I'm feeling the heat. I walk into the bathroom so I can hit the street. I'm not just looking for a shower, I'm looking for a drive. Feel like no other comfort is through a nice cool chill. It's an all-in-one soap, so dope, cause it kills germs, makes you fly, got you smelling so fresh. Yeah, plus it's Premier Cool season, it got me feeling fresh for no reason. Yeah, stay chilled with Premier Cool toilet soap. Removes 99.9% of germs and contains real menthol extracts for that icy cool feel.
I pay my bills easily, I'm running things like a boss. Collect a loan with no collateral. Vault is the answer. Vault is the way. Vault is the answer. From Polaris Bank.
Download Vault by Polaris Bank. That's VULTE. Visit the Google Play Store or Apple Store now. Vault is available to Polaris and non-Polaris Bank customers. Vault by Polaris Bank.
Not a new level. Where sample your ticket from Baskin to yesterday's gone today. Keep me a lucky day for Baskin to Baskin go. You are royal, you oh yeah, come make me bad with Baskin to go check these cars to keep me a lucky day.
Playground for kings.
Good night, Susan.
Oh, good night, sir.
Hi. You need it when? Okay, we'll get it done. Guys, we can't leave. We've got to finish the client's order tonight. Tonight?
This time?
How about some top tea to cheer us up? Tea.
Top tea.
Only one bag of Top Tea makes 2 strong cups. So taste to know more flavor, enjoyment,
great
friendship, and upliftment.
Wow, this looks gorgeous.
Taste to know. Top Tea.
Hey, Michael, how's life? Life is great, Frankie, but it's really hectic, man. Right from when I leave for office in the morning to the long hours I spend at work and then the traffic snails while coming back home leaves me feeling tired and stressed all the time.
Guy, I can totally relate to that. I've found a solution. Revital. Revital combines the power of Panax Ginseng, 11 vitamins and 9 minerals, and is clinically proven to fight tiredness and stress. Revital, physically active, mentally alert. A quality product from Rambaxi, a Sun Pharma company.
Why are you so excited?
Just saw the blender I've been looking for on Jumia with a woof discount.
Yes! Jumia 9th anniversary sale is on! Get up to 70% off TVs, blenders, phones, and groceries. Buy Benetton blender for 13,990 naira. Use the voucher code J9, that is JANINE, for extra 15% discount and enjoy next day delivery. Rush now, as offer valid till June 26. Terms and conditions apply.
Jumia, your everyday delivered.
Attention, attention, attention. This is to invite all French teachers in public and private primary and secondary school in Oyo State to a day pedagogical workshop organized by Learning Solutions Specialty Limited in collaboration with NAFT, Nigerian Association of French Teachers, Oyo State. Coming up this Saturday, 26th of June 2021, venue, the Law Hub, Ring Road, opposite Iyaganku GRA roundabout. Time, 9 a.m. prompt. We shall be expecting you. La Maison d'édition Learning Solutions Specialty Limited, en collaboration avec NAFT, Nigerian Association of French Teachers, de l'État d'Oyo, organise une journée de formation pédagogique pour les enseignants de la langue française du primaire et secondaire de l'école publique et privée. Date, samedi 26 juin 2021. Lieu, du Law Hub à Ring Road, non loin du carrefour Iyaganku GRA, Ibadan. Vous êtes tous invités. Venez, on vous attend. Merci beaucoup.
What do you need na safeguard?
Children that like to play.
Them like to play.
Small pigs that must jolly. Oh.
Them like to jolly.
But remember one thing. Protect them with safeguard too. Protect them with safeguard. Protect them with safeguard too. From the teen and yama so the future go better.
Safeguard antibacterial soap. They come out every yama for body. It also they available for 50-gram size.
Chinedu! Don't worry, Ma. He'll be home on time, just like his dad.
Are you sure?
Yes, Ma. I'm cooking their favorite jollof with Sonia tomato mix. They are here.
Hey, is that jollof ready?
See? Right on time. Your loved ones will always rush home for tasty meals prepared with Sonia tomato mix.
Mommy, the jollof is yummy.
I wouldn't miss this jollof for anything.
It's so good eating together with a family.
Yes, Ma. All thanks to Sonia. Sonia tomato mix brings you together. Proudly Nigerian.
I pay my bills easily. I'm running things like a boss. Collect a loan with no collateral. Vault is the answer. Vault is the way. Vault is the answer. From Polaris Bank.
Download Vault by Polaris Bank. That's VULTE. Visit the Google Play Store or Apple Store now. Vault is available to Polaris and non-Polaris Bank customers. Vault by Polaris Bank.
Here, Papa Obi. Now what in they shake you again like a leaf? Chai! Sweater and handkerchief never come off from your hands since I married you.
Na cold and kata again, oh.
I don't tell you, say make you take Procode, but in the form of big man.
Why Procode, my dear?
Make no Wakamis Road. Procode get paracetamol and phenylephrine for effective relief from cold and catarrh within 20 minutes.
Mama Obi, I dey kampe now.
Now, Orange Drugs Limited distributor. If symptoms never stop after 3 days, make you waka go see your doctor. Procode, now better medicine.
Take Procode. Take Procode.
Splash FM 105.5.
Thank you for being there and welcome back. It's still Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station. So if you want to join us, you can be part of it. 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000, 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. So you can be part of it and join us even on Facebook. If you want to also be part of it on Facebook, you're welcome to join us on Facebook as well on the program this evening. So now, gentlemen, I want us to look at the space, the civic space. Do you agree that it's shrinking even by all of these efforts? That's what I want you to be part of. So if you want to call us, talk to us about it. Do you consider the civic space shrinking by this government at this time? With all of these rules, with all of these instruments of law that are being proposed, are we indeed shrinking the civic space? Michael?
Yeah, the civic space is, shrinking, and is, if you allow me, it's even shrunk already.
Someone is here. So hold on the thought.
Okay.
Hello, good evening.
I'm Tunde calling from Mokola.
You're welcome. Let's have your contribution.
Now, Mr. Tunde has said it all. The government, they pretend as if the rest of Nigerians don't know what is going on. This law is not for us. They might make it look like it that it's for Nigeria, but it's not for us, it's for them. But if this law had been in place before they came in, they wouldn't have been in power. But let them go ahead. What I just want the press to do is, when this bill is about to be done in the National Assembly, they should please allow us to know those who append to the bill, so that we know their names. We know the name of the one who sponsored the bill, Abonvic. So we want to know the names of those who append to the bill. They will need the press later now. So we are waiting for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Jide. Jide, who wants us to put a face to those who assent to this bill, or those who say yes to this bill. Okay, let's see who is here. Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. What's the name? Where are you calling from?
This government doesn't have the capacity to persevere the massive participation in governance, and particularly citizens' participation. So you can disable the president. He has that issue because he found it difficult to even address youth, while the vice president earlier talked to the youth. So if he had done the same, maybe the atrocity wouldn't be like that. So the element of democracy is that people should be able to express themselves. Every government should want to do, because in the developed world, they look at how they can use law to get the citizens rather than be listening to every message that is coming from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Comrade Modagbe, for your comments this evening. Okay, so you can still be part of it. 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. Do you consider some of these rules as attempt to gag the people, not just the media? Is it to gag free speech, to shrink the civic space, to make people to be afraid to talk or speak out? Particularly, we will be going over to the issue of Twitter when we come back after the break. But someone is here. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Thank you for joining us. Welcome.
This is Dario from Oyo.
It's a Dario from Oyo. Let's talk.
Yeah, like one of you said there, the civic space is already shrunk. It is evident in one of when 5 million naira was slammed on maybe 2 or 3 radio stations recently. Now we have the suspension of Twitter.
That went off. Oh, sorry about it. So please, you can call me back if it's possible for you to call me back quickly. Maybe I will be able to pick it. Well, I've been asked to take a break. Please hold on. When we come back at a few minutes past 6 p.m., we will continue to engage the issue, but then we'll be moving into the issue of Twitter yet again. So thank you for being there. Good evening, and don't go away.
Splash FM 105.5.
awake in the morning, getting set for another day. Another chance to change my story. I believe in my hustle. I know be lazy person. But life is just a knock me boost. If it don't close, I go find another. If I fall down, I go try to recover. If it ever walk me, I know they bother. Cause I believe, say, I go surely prosper. You don't get that, say, one be, we move. No matter what they do, we move. Wahala hold me down. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I don't go let wahala hold me down. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I don't go let wahala hold me down. I don't go let wahala hold me down. We move. No matter what they say, we move. We move. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. No matter what they do, we move. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I don't go let wahala hold me down.
Whatever life brings, we move. Turn up your dreams. MTN, everywhere you go.
Here is
105.5.
Accessing
105.5.
one station, all the hits.
105.5. Splash.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on the news highlight at 6 p.m. The National Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, says it will resume suspended nationwide strike over federal government's failure to implement the Memorandum of Action. The union has, however, given the federal government 4 weeks' notice. Addressing journalists in Abuja, NARD President Oluwaseun said Memorandum of Action, which led to suspension of strike, has not been implemented. The union also rejected the federal government's 16,000 naira, 32,000 naira hazard allowance proposals and insisted on 50% of their basic salaries as hazard allowance. The Chief of Defense Staff, CDS, Major General Lucky Rabo, has met with retired senior military officers from the Southwest to discuss ways out of the current security challenges in the country. Speaking at the opening of the meeting at the headquarters of 2 Division Nigerian Army, Ibadan, Rabo said it was part of efforts aimed at tracing root causes of security challenges in the country. He said the meeting was to tap from the wealth of experience and knowledge of the retired officers and other stakeholders. Rabo said the armed forces will leverage on the wealth of experience of the retired officers for the betterment of the region and Nigeria in general. A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, in Maitama has nullified the elections held by the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Anambra State on June the 10th and 11th to elect a 3-man ad hoc ward delegate that will participate in the voting at the primary of the PDP scheduled for June the 26th, 2021. Justice Olukayode Adeniyi, in a ruling, held that all activities engaged in by the party after the court's June 9, 2021 judgment sacking the Anambra PDP's Executive Council, including the June 10 and 11 elections, were null and void because they were done in violation of orders contained in the judgment. Justice Adeniyi also rejected the request by the PDP and two of its chieftains, Chief Ndubisi Wobo and Barrister Uchenna Obiora, for an order staying the court's June 9 judgment. And Justice Oluwaseun Taiwo of the Ikeja Special Offences Court has granted bail in the sum of 2 million naira and two sureties to Nollywood actor Olarewaju Omiyinka alias Baba Ijesha. The judge ordered that one of the sureties must be a blood relative of the defendant and the other a lawyer. The defendant is facing a 6-count charge bordering on indecent treatment of a child, sexual assault, attempted sexual assault by penetration, and sexual assault by penetration. On the foreign scene, a huge rescue operation is underway in Miami-Dade County, Florida, after a 12-story residential building partially collapsed, killing at least one person. Rescuers are combing the rubble, searching for any trapped survivors, and were seen pulling the boy out alive. Miami-Dade Fire Rescue said it has sent 80 vehicles to the scene, while police are also assisting with the rescue operation. The German Chancellor Angela Merkel has warned that Europe is on thin ice as the Delta variant of COVID spreads on the continent. A warning came as EU health officials said the variant will account for 90% of the bloc's cases by late August. The spread could disrupt plans for lifting restrictions during the summer. The Alpha variant, first discovered in the UK, hit Europe hard earlier this year, and Delta, now dominating the UK's, thought 40%, 60% more transmissible. And sports news, goalkeeper Chaomi Keller signed a new long-term contract with Liverpool. The 22-year-old made 5 first-team appearances and featured in both Premier League and Champions League last season. Kelleher also won his first cap for Republic of Ireland earlier in June, coming on as a second-half substitute against Hungary and Budapest. And that ends the 6 p.m. news highlight for today. I'm Oluwaseun Akinola. The Splash Rendezvous will come up again after this timeout. Stay with us.
Quick, Charger 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
When we say we're committed to giving you more, here's what we mean. We mean going the extra mile to ensure you have the best customer experience. In fact, if you make an instant transfer and it fails, we will reverse it in 1 business day or refund 5 times the transaction fees. You get that? A reversal on failed instant transfers in 1 business day, or we will refund 5 times the transaction fees. Now, that's how committed we are to giving you more. Access, more than banking.
Captain.
Yes, coach.
Shebi you sabi say if this our school go follow carry shoulder for people wey sabi, we must win this match.
Yes, coach.
No forget say 1, the time to win as they blow whistle to start the match. 2, no forget to protect your net every time.
Yes, coach.
Yes, so my correct champion.
Okay, champ. Make you go eat. Make you bath so that you go fit sleep well, you hear?
Papa, you don't forget the net, oh.
Aha! Oya, tell us, how we go take for malaria hand?
All of us must sleep inside net every night. And when we know they use the net, now to arrange them well, keep one side.
Better pikin. Our champion, we sabi every.
Papa, make you no forget you and mama net, oh.
The mosquitoes where they carry malaria, now for nights them they bite. If everybody sleep inside net, mosquitoes no go bite anybody, and malaria no go worry anybody. This message, now the Federal Ministry of Health and support from American people carry and come.
Big protein breakfast, Ashiri Benye. bí ìyá mi máa ṣe ń jí láfẹ̀mọ́jú wọ́n á ṣe oúnjẹ fún wa kí wọ́n tó sáré lọ sí ibi iṣẹ́ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbà bàbá wa máa ń ṣiṣẹ́ dalẹ́ wọ́n sì tún jí lówùúrọ̀ láti gbé mi lọ sí ilé ẹ̀kọ́ kò wá sí bó ṣe lè di gádígádí tó kì í rìn wọn láti máa bá mi ṣeré ìdí ìrètí wọn kì í kúrò nílé láì jẹ big protein breakfast.
bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọjọ́ rẹ pẹ̀lú oúnjẹ òwúrọ̀ tó kún fún big protein amárata kébé.
Peak. Reach for your peak.
If you want confidence and a bath with Premier Cool, it keeps you fresh and honest. Premier Cool, Premier Cool. You go shine for body and you go fresh. If you want confidence and a bath with
Stay chilled with Premier Cool Toilet Soap. Removes 99.9% of germs and contains real menthol extracts for that icy cool feel.
Amatem soft gel wà fún ìtọ́jú àrùn ibà tí ara rẹ kò bá yá lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta lọ rí dókítà rẹ.
Ohun tó yẹni ló yẹni, ìrọ̀rùn ló yẹ àwọn oníbàárà wa. Nítorí náà, ní ìgbàkúùgbà tí o bá fi owó ránṣẹ́ láti ilé ìfowópamọ́ Access sí ilé ìfowópamọ́ mìíràn tí owó náà lọ, lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ la ó fún ọ ní owó rẹ padà tàbí ká dá owó tí a máa ń gbà lórí ìfowóránṣẹ́ padà fún ọ lẹ́ẹ̀márùn-ún. Èyí túmọ̀ sí wípé ní gbogbo ìgbà tí a bá fi owó ránṣẹ́ tí kò lọ rárá fún ìdí kan tàbí òmíràn, lọ́jọ́ náà la ó dá gbogbo owó rẹ padà o. Tí a kò bá dá padà ní ọjọ́ kan, a ó fún ọ ní ìlọ́po márùn-ún owó tí a bá gbà lórí ìfowóránṣẹ́ rẹ. Ìdí nìyí tí a fi ń fọwọ́ sọ̀yà wípé ìrọ̀rùn ẹ̀yin oníbàárà wa ló jẹ wá lógún o. Access ó ju ìfowópamọ́ lọ.
Splash FM 105.5.
Thank you so much for being there with us on Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station. So, we're back at Splash Rendezvous. As I said, you can call us once you have something to say. We'd like to hear from you. 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, 0706 949 3000. I've got quite a number of issues to deal with. Quickly, let's deal with the issue of Twitter and the federal government. I saw a lot of people arguing whether it was Twitter asking to speak with the federal government or it was federal government asking to dialogue with Twitter, back and forth. But I remember very clearly that the Honorable Minister for Information, Lai Mohammed, said that Twitter reached out to the federal government and seeking for, a dialogue. This dialogue, Tunde, started. Let's look at, first, did you, for, say, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, did you ever imagine that Nigeria will throw such a punch at Twitter and say we temporarily suspend Twitter operation in Nigeria?
Interestingly, I did.
Okay. I mean 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago.
5 years ago would be 2016, the second year of this administration.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. And I remember having this conversation with a friend and a colleague, Toba Ifaladi, that look, the rate at which this media clampdown is happening, don't be surprised that your dear social media, could be the next target. And he said, that I trust the government.
It will happen.
They can do everything, but that one, Nigerians will be on the streets. I said, okay. But the rate at which it's going. So when, they came about with the hate speech bill, which did not really see the light of day, I reminded him again. And then the social media bill, which, all these bills were resisted. But, this gave them an opportunity, the old Twitter versus President Buhari saga. It just tells you that for an administration that is, by some people's reckoning, notorious for being very slow in dealing with critical issues about the economy, about insecurity, and even some other things. They've been very fast and strategic about some anti-people policies, especially when it comes to, clamping down on the media, which keeps reminding us of, Decree 4 of 1984. Here we are today. Again, another narrative that they've been trying to sustain is that this is a battle against Twitter as an independent body or as a business organization. I was having a conversation with a friend. I sought for his view, and he said, "Oh, but I cannot pick a foreign company over my country." I said, "So, in your opinion, you actually do think that this is about Twitter?" No, it is not about Twitter. Twitter is like a gun. A gun in itself is not harmful.
It does not kill.
Yes, until somebody picks up that gun, load with the necessary ammunition and then fire. Nigeria is not the only country with Twitter. Twitter is just a platform, a very viable one at that has become a useful tool, not only for people to express, their grievances, but also for the purpose of businesses and other things. The funny thing is, Twitter has, less in terms of subscribers compared to Facebook and even Instagram. But it is the most useful, it is the most efficient when it comes to driving national conversations. In real time. You can start up, an issue, and before you know it, it is trending number 1, it is trending number 2. It is also the most viable platform when it comes to getting feedbacks. And this is not me running, free advert for Twitter. It's well known to everybody. So when the government, comes out kicking against Twitter, the victim here, the target is not Twitter. It is actually Nigerians, you and I. They just essentially want to take away your voice, your capacity to hold them to account. Today, they want to hold Twitter responsible for #EndSARS. But Twitter was not responsible for police brutality. It was when Nigerians rose up, young Nigerians rose up against police brutality, that Twitter became the guilty party.
Conclude your thought. Let me not stop you.
Well, I'll toe the line of Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, that the meeting that is now supposed to happen should have happened before the federal government decided to ban Twitter. Twitter deleted one of President Muhammadu Buhari's tweets. Let's not forget that's where we're coming from. If the government had concerns, knowing the importance of this platform to, the vast majority of your population, what they should have done is send a delegation to Twitter expressing your concerns about this. But no, their ego was bruised and then they clamped down. So this looks like an afterthought, but it's a welcomed afterthought as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, let's hear this.
Let him use his own words to say it. And also don't forget to hit our subscribe button and turn on our notification.
Are all struggling to come by with laws to regulate social media. Australia, Singapore, same. Now, it's because the thing about social media is that when they came, they were neither communication nor information. So they were operating under the radar. And it's only recently that governments all over the world started realizing that, wait a minute, these people are doing business, They're not licensed, neither here or anywhere in the world. And they say, no, this must stop. And you are causing a lot of trouble is too small a word. Look, it was said that Hillary Clinton lost the last election because of social media. It was fake news. The first fake news was that she was suffering from very bad health. Second was that she had ties with the terrorists. And I think the third fake news was that the Pope did not support her, or that the Pope supported Trump. And these were all fake news. So the issue of fake news is not today, and the struggle to regulate social media is not today. We continue, both NBC and both NCC. And that is what the first thing we said today is that all online medias come and register. Let's even know who you are. Then we say these are the rules, these are the do's, these are the. Why did I wait for Mr. President's tweet to be deleted before the suspension? Even though I knew all along that IPOB had been using Twitter as a platform. I think our efforts to rid Nigeria of fake news, disinformation, started in 2017. And I'm happy that my chairman is here. When we organized a National Council on Information in Jos Plateau State to address the issue of fake news and disinformation. And there we said that the next war will be caused by fake news. How prophetic we were. In 2018, we started an advocacy program whereby we went from media house to the other, seeking their support in weeding out fake news. Some supported us, some did not. When we were convinced that they were not going to listen, said that we were going to regulate the social media, we wrote to NUJ, we wrote to Guild of Editors, they stopped us. Now, as for Twitter, there are two issues about Twitter. Number one, Twitter is not even registered in Nigeria. So who do we talk to? But despite that, I know that on record, that the social media department of the government actually severally asked Twitter to bring down a lot of tweets, which they refused. They said it does not offend their rules. And you see, one thing must be clear. Who is Twitter? Are they a platform, content creator, or are they the judge?
A lot of human activities generate.
Okay, you had Honorable Minister there, Michael. He stated his case. You think he doesn't have a case?
You see, if you were standing, if you were in their camp, if you were in their camp, you would say that he has a case. But you see, if you are standing with the people, you agree that he doesn't have a case. You see, the argument of Twitter does not have a physical office in Nigeria. It does not hold water. The fact is that you may not have physical office in Nigeria and still do business in Nigeria, because it's a virtual space. Don't forget that it's a virtual space. And besides, Twitter opens offices across the world. It may just be because that Twitter found it difficult to agree with the policies that the government has in place, that it's not operating in Nigeria. You understand? As a physical entity this time around. But you see, the argument sounds very simplistic in the first instance. They said that they reported some people's tweet, and Twitter did not take it down. The point is that Twitter has a way of dealing with cases like that. You have to have sufficiently enough reports on a particular tweet.
It won't just be government reporting.
It will not just be government, which
or
is taken
few
as
people.
one or as few people. So many people have to report the tweet as being offensive to their own sensibilities before Twitter will take action. Just as a lot of people, thousands, in fact millions of people, reported the tweet of the president that it threatened them, which was why Twitter took it down. You see, I just find it very alarming to understand that when, even Alhaji Lai Mohammed himself signed up for Twitter, there is this place they call terms and conditions. People don't read those places, right? You see, so because now Twitter now took down a post, you didn't even ask yourself whether you violated. Of course, Twitter and Facebook and all of them will tell you that you violated item this, item that, item that. They didn't tell us that. All they were trying to do was to stop us from talking, because basically they have been looking for opportunity. Just don't forget that the minister said 2017 and the rest of it. That was when Segun Wosonya called Segalink started NSAS. Hashtag NSAS. Don't forget that it was 2017 that they started it, and the government came up and said, okay, they are refurbishing or recalibrating SARS, and then much later they said we'll start working on the rest of it. That was the year that NSAS movement started in Nigeria. So it was basically about, okay, these people are trying to stop us from, doing this. Okay, let's stop them instead. You see, so it's a simplistic argument, because Twitter took down the tweets of Trump. It even suspended Trump. Don't forget that Trump has over 40 million followers on Twitter. President Buhari has just 4 million followers on Twitter. But Twitter took his account down, suspended his account, because it was
not just tweet.
Not just tweet. They suspended his account. Trump has 40.4 million followers on Twitter. That's even more than all the people who are on Twitter in Nigeria. The heavens did not fall. You will see that it's just a symptom of an agenda.
And the US did not suspend Twitter.
The US did not suspend Twitter because they understand the implication is a free world. It's a nation that is built on the fact that people can express themselves. It's only places where they are trying to stop people from expressing themselves that they stop all these virtual spaces, because that's the space. If you talk and violate any offense, you can step out of this gate today and you'll be arrested.
You said that if this had been passed into law, that we won't last 30 minutes on this show already.
It is the reality. And wherever people gather to talk about things that affect them, and these things are maybe assumed as criticism against the government, I can tell you, if there are laws that the government can apply, they will apply it.
The government's team comprises the Attorney General of the Federation, Honorable Minister of Justice, Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Honorable Minister of State for Labor and Employment, as well as other relevant government agencies. This indefinite suspension of Twitter's operation in Nigeria for activities that are capable of undermining Nigeria's corporate existence, Twitter wrote President Buhari seeking to engage with the federal government over the suspension with a view to charting a path forward. Tunde, look at that team. Why do we need this? I mean, this is not the kind of thing they call high. It's not the kind of thing they call high-powered delegation.
Before I even address that, when the Honorable Minister of Information, Culture and Tourism, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, went on talking about fake news, you would almost assume that it's just some faceless people who are guilty of fake news. I remember, during the first term of President Muhammadu Buhari, Chief Audrogbe was the Minister for Agriculture. There was a time he mentioned, specifically in 2016, that Nigeria was exporting rice to China. Eventually, that information was fact-checked to be fake. So that's fake news. Alhaji Lai Mohammed himself, came out to say we had defeated Boko Haram. And then they struck again and again. Then he came back later to say we technically defeated them. And then stylishly they withdrew that narrative because it was not holding water at all. It was also a time, it was actually the president who said there was no subsidy. Mm-hmm. There was no fuel subsidy. But all available record shows that the Nigerian government was and is still subsidizing the price of fuel. So they changed the term and they called it under recovery. But it's still the same. You just give it another name. So it means that even the government has been guilty of peddling fake news at very critical moments in our history. And nobody has said we should ban government for that. So it's comes back to the point I made earlier that it is not about Twitter. If somebody has been found guilty of peddling fake news, you can isolate and deal with that person. There are laws in place to deal with that. You don't need to ban the platform. But you see, with the kind of people we have in government, anything they don't understand, anything that looks too complex for them,
must be exterminated.
Just ban it. That's the only language. The same way, we ban, the importation of rice, through the land borders, and then we discovered that rice was still entering, however it was happening. Now, to talk about this list, when I saw it, I asked myself again, is this our team A that will be, facing Twitter? But I suppose if you look at the entire cabinet, this perhaps will constitute the team A that they have. Out of the 6, I think 4 of them are lawyers.
Senior advocates.
Lai Mohammed is a lawyer. Malami is a lawyer.
Senior advocate.
Yes. Fashola, a lawyer.
Senior advocate.
Same for Festus Keyamo. Chris Ngige is a doctor.
Is a doctor.
And then Geoffrey Yema, a diplomat, essentially. It doesn't fill me with any optimism. I don't think we're going to. They say these people. How many of them are even active Twitter users? I mean, active. Maybe only Festus Keyamo.
Yeah.
Of all these people,
the large following,
activists.
Yes, that you will say are
repented
Twitter users.
Also, backsliding activists.
What is also the average age of this team? Considering that Twitter, the team of Twitter, the operators of Twitter are essentially young people. Even Jack Dorsey, the co-founder of Twitter, is still less than 50.
Yes.
So here we are actually going to be parading a team of, I'll say old men.
But they are going to be negotiating, really.
Yes, but you see,
do they need technical expertise, really? Because they are going to be representing the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
What happens to the techie young guys?
What are we hoping to get from
what
this negotiation?
What are you going to be discussing with them?
What are we hoping to get from this discussion?
Do they understand the features on Twitter that you can point out to say, okay, this particular one is injurious to, since they said basically what Twitter has represented in the last couple of years is a danger to the corporate existence of Nigeria. And if it's going to be a negotiation, meaning that you're ready for give and take, what are the specific things they will be mentioning on that table?
Okay.
Do they understand, like as I said, do they understand the nitty-gritty of Twitter operation?
Now, will Twitter remain the same in Nigeria post this negotiation today?
What I suspect is that Alhaji Lai Mohammed has mentioned the fact that Twitter is not registered in Nigeria. They don't pay taxes in Nigeria.
They make billions
that this is just this is not the
second-rated argument.
Yes, or even third-rated argument. Because I remember when there was also a reason Twitter did not set up a physical office in Nigeria. Where we should not lose sight of that fact. And here, government decision has actually reinforced that belief.
The government said that
the government accused Nigerians of demarketing the country. But who is demarketing the country now? Who is coming up with obnoxious policies against free speech? It's not the people, it's the government. So let's grant it that they will have their way. Twitter will set up an office in Nigeria. You are only going to be taxing the people working there. How many are there going to be? But I will buy that argument. I will buy it. Yeah. Okay, Twitter, you're operating in Nigeria, you're making money from Nigeria.
Until you have a corporate existence.
Tax. But I suspect it will not stop right there. What I know is that Twitter is likely not going to accept, any condition that will make them, have to register or be regulated by any of our agencies, because what will become of Twitter once you allow that to happen.
But you know that the power. I mean, they say that when maybe a tiger or a lion tastes blood, it wants to go for another kill. They have tasted this blood. They've been able to stop the internet providers, to yank the trunk that supplies us the opportunity to get on Twitter.
The gateway.
The gateway. Now they will be able to do the same for YouTube.
Oh yes.
They will be able to do the same for Facebook. They will be able to do the same for
even for WhatsApp.
I mean, those are gateways and trunks.
What I know is that they are not going to be in government forever, and I see a situation where you
have a Festus Keyamo, senior advocate of Nigeria, in that team, and it's I think he's most certainly be the youngest in that team.
Yes,
I understand that he knows a bit of how Twitter operates because he's a much younger person and probably a more tech savvy person in that team.
And if you can, 51, and he's not such a young man.
At 51, he still connects in some way. I think that's why I called him a repentant activist. I was watching him on TV about 2 nights ago and the rest of it, and the narrative that the federal government has remained unchanged. Really, all the members of the cabinet, that's what they echo. When the diplomats of the European countries and US met with Geoffrey Onyema, the foreign affairs minister, his argument was that the government is calling for responsible use of Twitter, and that is just what they are going to be asking. So, but my question now, just like Tunde said, if Twitter sets up a physical office in Nigeria and they register under the Corporate Affairs Commission and so on and so forth, would it not be that anytime I go, for instance, on Twitter and I say that the government has failed to do something, Mr. President, you have to do this thing today because I am in Nigeria and I'm demanding, I am hoping that they will not call Twitter and say, take it down. So if Akinola calls, out the governor, for instance, or saying there's refuse at somewhere in Ibadan, Your Excellency, you have to send somebody to go and pack it because we voted for you to keep the city clean. I hope they are not going to be calling Twitter again to say, that guy is stubborn. We don't like his face. Go and take it down. Go and take his tweet down. I guess that is what they will be asking because the word responsible is being defined by only those who are in government. And the word responsible, as applied to the use of Twitter, simply means that we don't want people to talk at us. We want people to agree with whatever we say. So you now come back with the appellation of wailers and healers once again. So we are categorized, and then your use of Twitter is labeled, and then given, and if you are lucky, you may escape the security agencies and the rest of it. My fear now, just like Tunde was saying, is that I'm not expecting anything spectacular from that. We already know from 5th of June or so, we already know what the government is going to be telling Twitter. And I am pretty sure that Twitter will not agree to those conditions because they are draconian. In fact, they're draconian, and those things should be resisted by them. You see, I always say something about the active citizen. Apart from the fact that I know that we have a right by the virtue of Section 22 of the Federal Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, we have a right to question those who are in government. I know that we have a right. But the people are more than us who practice in the industry. The people should be active citizens. You see, the problem we have is that we have so many people who are not interested in what goes on in the offices of government, and that is why the very few of us who speak against government are either victimized
or demonized
or demonized and all that. We have 206 million people in Nigeria. These 206 million people in Nigeria, there are 88 million of them who are on INEX register. 88 million people need to speak. I'm not asking people to go to the streets. There are ways of speaking when it's election time. I think we need that education to understand that, see, when you go to the polls to vote the next time, you are either voting for somebody who wants to stop you from talking tomorrow, or you are voting for somebody who wants to bring train, who who wants to bring infrastructure, who wants to make life easier for you, who wants to make it possible for your children who are going to be born in 20 years' time to go to school.
Or somebody who wants to excavate grazing routes.
Yes, or somebody who wants to take you back to the 17th century. We have to understand that our destiny is in our hands. You see, we pray a lot in Nigeria. You can pray till
What's
tomorrow.
wrong in praying?
On election day, go and vote.
Don't stop praying. If you stop praying,
on election day, go and vote. I agree that you can pray for 23 years if you can, but of 2023.
And that's what's the name. Where are you calling from?
My name is Oluwaseun.
Welcome, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm in transit.
Okay, let's have your talk, your chat with us.
Yes, well done. You're doing a good job. I just want to make a contribution on the Twitter matter. I honestly agree with your contributors there. It is not about the Twitter. They should give us room to talk. I don't have a Twitter account, but then I have other social medium, where I express my feelings and my thoughts. This government should go back to the manifesto. They should go back to their manifesto, the one they had in the Chatham House. Alhaji Lai Mohammed should remember how he dished out fake news, fake utterances against the former president, Goodluck Jonathan. He is also guilty. He should allow us talk. I hope one of the media houses will bring Alhaji Lai Mohammed back after this government has expired. Let him come and relate what he has done now, what he did before, what he's doing now with what he did before this government came on board. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comment and contribution to the program today. Yes, we appreciate you. 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. Those are the numbers where you can be part of this conversation this evening. What do you want to say about the move by the federal government to meet with Twitter? And I'm just imagining, what will Twitter look like after this negotiation? Will this space still be the same? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Thank you for joining us. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
Yeah, this is Joseph from Ibadan.
Joseph, welcome.
Yeah, in as much you people made a valid point in some areas, telling us that 2023 is coming. Everybody should do this, to do that. I want to remind you that not only Southwest and in this country, and not everybody is using Twitter. So that doesn't disturb any party. As far as they are doing some certain work, certain job that people can see, that some people are benefiting, if not all. So it can't stop them from winning the election.
Did you get that somebody is stopping anybody from winning an election from what they've said?
Based on
Did you
what
get
you
that?
said, based on what the two gentlemen said, it's like you are trying to tell people that you vote against the current government because of Twitter.
That was a wrong assumption.
Because of the Twitter, and it doesn't make. Is it every Nigerians are on Twitter? What about other platforms? What of the other areas that they have done better? They have performed well. Is it Twitter that will give me Gary? Is it Twitter that will provide a house for me? Is it Twitter that brought that railway? Please, talk about another thing.
Okay, thank you for calling.
I thank you for calling us. All right, 0809 155 1055. Let's see, someone is here again. Hello, good evening.
No, I had to call back. I heard that this last caller. You see, this is how we make case for our leaders when they are not leading us the way we think they should lead us. I'm calling you from Akure. You see, as a man of the house, what are your responsibilities if you can't pay your child's school fees, if you can't put food on the table, if you can't clothe them, if you can't provide shelter? That this government has provided railway. We give kudos to them. But how we voted them for to come and do for us, that they did railway, that they did what? They build roads. If they had not built roads, what would they have built? Some state governors are owing salary. A governor has just paid February salary and paid 40%. And you think we should praise them for opposing the judiciary or what? This is how we make case for them. He is a man. If he does not pay his children's school fees, he does not provide shelter for his family, what would he have done? Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling us. And he said he called us all the way from Akure. Wow. Thank you for listening to Splash FM. We will not be able to take another call. I mean, quite a number of them are already coming in. Today, thank you for coming on the program today. Many thanks to you.
Mr. President, on his way again to London, for the medical trip. Yes, it is within his right to seek medical help, anywhere he wishes. But then again, how many of us can afford that? So, when we defend, our leaders, we should all bear this in mind, because certain things will not discriminate when they come at you. When you have a medical emergency, it will not discriminate whether you are PDP or APC, whether you support the president or you oppose him. And you may not find it so easy the way Mr. President does,